Exactly.
What's it like to be, are we ready here?
Yep.
What's it like to be surrounded by media? It's a little bit different for you.
A little bit different, but it's something that I've seen other head coaches go through this process, so I'm not unaware. And obviously, with the transition last year with Coach Miller's illness, I had to step in in his shoes for about a solid 2 weeks and 2 games and multiple practices. So I was able to deal with the media quite a bit last year.
Go ahead, whenever you're right. Okay. How are things starting to sort out as far as, a rotation, things like that?
Well, as a rotation, things are still relatively new. We've started in the sense of a rotation because we have started practice on October 1st, and we're different than the men's game where we have 30 practices within 40 days. We've had 2 scrimmages, and then now we will actually have our first exhibition on this Saturday against Slippery Rock. So we still have 4 more days of practice to figure out a solid rotation who we will start.
Still in the mad scientist stage.
Correct,
right?
Correct.
What's the transition been like with the whole new staff, except for you?
It's been actually really exciting. So we actually lost 10 faces, including coaches and support staff and players from last year. So we have 8 new faces, including coaches and support staff for this year. So it's been a lot of fun with 2 new freshmen and 2 transfers and 3 new staff members and a new trainer. It's been like starting coaching all over again.
One way to look at it is, it's a whole new staff. But another way is it kind of cool that right away you get to make your own imprint on these people. I mean, it's all you.
Exactly, but I'm going into my 6th month and 2nd week as a head coach, but I'm going into my 20th year of overall coaching. So I feel very confident in regards to that. But I will tell you this, some days I wake up and I get out of bed and I feel like, okay, we have 4 starters returning, yet another day I wake up and I get out of bed and like, wow, we have 8 new faces in the program. So you can call it a little bit of identity crisis. That's what I'm calling it right now. So depending upon what side of the bed I get out of is how I feel.
Talk about Miriam Justinger. What kind of role does she play? Obviously, she's a player we're all very interested in since we've seen her for a long time.
She played for a phenomenal coach in Jerry Sigler at Northview. They had an unbelievable tradition and still do. That high school produces Division I student athletes year in and year out. She was obviously the city player of the year in Toledo last year. She will have, our attendance will grow simply because of her fans and family that will be at each game. I'm ecstatic to have her as a part of our program. Her recruiting process was a little bit different. As everybody knows, there were over 75 Division I job changes. And with that said, a lot of kids that had committed to some schools changed their mind, and coaches moved from school A to school B, and she was a kid that we were able to sign in the late signing period.
What kind of role does she play right away, or is she someone that
Well, as you know, we have only 13 on the roster, and one of those being a transfer from NC State, so we have 12, and this is the fewest numbers we've ever had on a team since I've been at Bowling Green. So yes, can she play right away? Yes.
What have been some preparation in terms of scrimmaging and anything like that?
We are depending a lot on our men's practice squad. We use them every day to scrimmage against them with such few numbers. It's difficult, and for some of the injuries we've incurred so far, it's difficult for us to go 5-on-5. So they have been a real lifesaver in the sense that we can scrimmage against a team that's a little bit faster and stronger than us every day.
What would you say the identity of your team is right now, and what are you striving for to be in the season?
Well, our identity is going to be similar to what we've preached throughout my tenure here as an assistant coach and associate head coach, that we want to be one of the hardest working teams in the conference, and also we want to have the best team chemistry of any team in the league. Because as you all well know, each year, for the past 8 years, we've won this conference, but we haven't been the best team. Yet with a mixture of good team chemistry and being a hard working team, that has proved to be a successful combination for us. So I would strive to have those same goals for this year's team.
Let's talk about team chemistry, on and off the court too. Is that your definition of that?
Yes, that's something that we preach. They did a great job of staying here this summer, working out with our strength staff, coming in, shooting on their own, and doing anything from team meals to team trips throughout the state of Ohio, going to each other's houses. So they started the building process early on in the summer.
Coach just did such a good job at Point last year, stepping in kind of a crash course, I guess, an emergency situation, whatever you want to call it. She's gone, but you bring back a starting point guard.
We do. Jillian Halfville and Katrina Salinas both are juniors on the roster for us, and they will receive that position. Both of them will play that. We signed Katrina Salinas late from Central Arizona Junior College, so the two of them will see the majority of the time at that position. Emily London is one of our new assistants, and she was a point guard at Stanford University and will be a future Hall of Famer at that school, and she has worked every day with them in particular to help hone their skills.
With Jillian, did she go through any kind of confidence crisis or anything like that last year after Jess kind of took her job?
I don't think she went through a confidence crisis. She had, like anybody during their sophomore year, I think that's a very tough transition year because you're not a freshman where you get so much attention, and you're not an upperclassman where you can see the light of the tunnel and you're counting down your days. And you only have so many days left of Division I collegiate basketball. But she had some highs and lows like any typical sophomore would, but I'm very confident the fact that she ended on a high in last year's season. She scored her career high against Kent State, played well in the MAC tournament also, so she has carried over that experience into this year.
Did she gain something just from being able to sit and watch a little more? I mean, she watched Tracy the year before, but
you gain anytime you're either you watch from the sidelines because you're out due to an injury, or you're watching because you're playing behind someone. You gain and learn something every day.
You mentioned you've got one local in Miriam, but you've also got a local who's a senior in Allison. Will you talk a little bit about her role this year in the program?
Yeah, Allison Pappenfuss is from Anthony Wayne High School, and then you throw in Simone Eli too. So with being from Genoa, and then Jill Stein only 40 minutes away from Tiffin Columbian. So we have a handful of local kids, and it's been fantastic because they've been able to take the team over to their houses and when the others haven't been able to get home. But it's something special to play at a Division I school in your backyard. So I still can't. I pinch myself every day because I'd love to have Pat back another year, and it's hard for me to believe that Allison is a senior, indeed, along with Simone, technically a graduate student. But they're looking for big things as well. They've set some high goals for themselves as individuals.
Will you talk a little bit about the